not too shocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So basically, yeah, maybe you like to start with the updates. Would that be all
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fine.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
Because I think I mean,
yeah,
Professor Herman is probably yeah.
probably
I
not
mean,
joining today.
okay. Yeah. So go.
Okay. So first, I have sent an email to. So let me just share my screen. I'm trying to find the share screen button. Um, sorry, are you sharing your screen? Oh, never mind. Can you still hear me?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, okay. So first, I have sent an email to our leader. I'm just waiting for feedback. I sent it a bit late yesterday, so she's probably gonna respond this morning.
Okay.
I know she doesn't generally. She can't access her email. I mean, she can't do meetings during the day, but she can access her emails. But she said she's
Okay. I
usually
see.
free from around like 6:30 in the evening. So I've sent her an email,
Oh.
with regards to the project, and if she's probably free sometime this evening, so I can explain a bit better. And the
Okay.
idea
Okay.
is, perhaps me and her and Anisio can have like a quick session where
Okay.
we basically discuss a bit more. It's at least to explain the key components of the code, right? But at the moment
Right. Right.
I'm playing around with the code in terms of implementing the key elements that are required. Everything is still all over the place, but the idea is to sort of put the structure in place. And I think the difference between before and now is now I'm integrating, so you can ignore these ones for now. And the idea is the perfect node should have these items, or every node, sorry, rather, it has it has its ID, which is here. It has the
Okay.
type, which is whether we're doing a spatial sub or spatial or channel sub. It has the channel, it has the position, because technically every node is going to be in a specific position, and it has a radius.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what this type is. The idea is all the information of that node is sort of written in immediate, like at the same time, right? So if, for example,
Okay.
we are just doing position based, we can just leave this as empty and the channel as empty. Well,
Okay. Okay. I see.
or something like that. It doesn't, or we can say, spatial pub, depending on. But I'm thinking we should probably make this a global variable,
Okay.
where it's like an on and off button rather than a type. But I want to discuss that with Anisha as well, just to get his insight on that. And the idea is, you're getting all of that information, you are initializing that, and
Mhm.
basically the simulator, sorry, the receiver also has its own message, but the matching sort of happens here, where I don't know if you remember from yesterday, the overlap basically
Mhm.
section has been added, where the idea is there is a node, it has a node. Sorry, this is the matching process for overlap, and the idea is in this section there's supposed to be a
Okay.
call. There's a call to say, overlap dot overlap,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then
Okay. To
and
check
then
for
checks
basically if
exactly,
there's a okay a
exactly,
match essentially.
precisely. And if the match is found, because there should be a return here, if so this is actually supposed to go there, but it's fine. Or maybe I should set a flag. I'm still thinking, playing around with the best approach to this. But the idea is, if there's a match here, or if there's an overlap, it should return a certain value. And if
Well, it could be just simply like positive, like -1 0 or positive, right?
what's
0 being
oh
action,
yes,
positive being, like
yes,
true, right? True
precisely,
being
precisely. Yes.
I mean, one being, you know, like overlap, and negative being not overlap, and zero being touching, for example.
Touching. Yes, that's actually correct. Yeah, absolutely right. Okay. But I'm playing around with the best way. I have a session with Anisha today, and we're going to finish that. So I want to do it such that this part is ready
Okay,
before
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 transferring
moving.
to,
Exactly.
okay,
So the
okay,
key
sure.
the key part I would want her to do basically is the cleanup part in terms of, for
Okay,
example, simple stuff like the matching connector. Where is it now? Matcha.connect. Although it's not really, but simple stuff like making it node.connect matcha rather than matcha connect node. Clean up a
I
little
see,
bit
right, logically, right, logical
the
thing.
logic flow, exactly, logical flow, as well as the setting up the connector. And I think that's the for real network.
Okay, nice. So it seems like you're pretty clear about what to request, right?
Yes, I'm even trying to put it as well
Okay,
paper
that's
here.
good. That's good. Yeah,
Uh,
this is called making a spec or specting. Okay, yeah, which
exactly.
is important, you know, as a, I guess, as a designer. Okay. Yeah.
Nice. All right. And yeah, so this is the software development idea. Well, it's still sort of raw, but it sort of captures the idea of what would need to be done. Well, this is
Okay,
currently in
nice,
progress,
nice. Okay,
and hope so. I put this over the next 30 days.
okay,
Before the
all
next,
right, great. All right,
yeah, and this should be done by the end of today, tomorrow, latest, hopefully before next week.
okay,
But
okay.
so the test for spatial and well, this sort of goes together as well, where we're basically testing that the matching is correct for both spatial and for pub sub, and that's the simulation. And then a leader sort of takes over from here in terms of cleaning up the code for real network testing, developing the connector IO, and basically building and testing with Docker, using UDP networks. And the idea is to perform these experiments. For example, the channel base pops up for 1,000 nodes. The spatial base pops up also for 1,000 nodes. The latency test, as to how long the messages have been received, how
Okay,
I think even data loss. I think I need to put the packet loss rate. I should add that packet loss rates. Scalability tests, also to sort of observe the pattern in terms of speed and latency. How fast, or should I say, how fast the nodes receive the messages when it's 100, when it's 200, when it's 300 nodes, and maybe when it's 1,000 nodes. What's the progression rate in terms of the average amount or the average time it takes for all the nodes to receive their respective messages? In terms
okay,
of the practical approach to that, I'm still not sure how this is. I'll probably have to take different tests and sort of merge them in a data
okay, all
analysis
right.
package.
I see. All right, okay.
And
All
then
right, good, good.
over the next 2 weeks, while that is happening, I'll be focusing on this part. And there's sort of a merge. Well, I put it here, but I think the merge should sort of happen around here,
Okay,
where there is the write-up meets the experiments and the results, and then we can
okay,
take this
right.
part to review. Yeah, we can review in terms of making corrections. So in theory, if this is done in 31 days, we'll still have about 7 or 8 days or 9 days, I think, to submit.
Okay, okay, good. Yeah, you definitely need that. You need some buffer period. I think it's good.
Yes.
It's pretty good that you structure it in a 30-day kind of sprint, right?
Yeah.
Um, okay, that's good. Okay, so I guess is that the current update so far?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, all right. So I guess some feedback. Okay.
All right. Yes.
First, I like the 30-day plan, okay, that you have outlined. And I think one feedback is I think try to transfer to Alida as soon as you can. Okay.
Okay.
Just sort of wrap up because I mean she's going to take over anyway, and probably the quicker the better. Okay. So that you can focus. And the second thing is second feedback is I think in terms of the implementation, it's actually okay to just do a single matcher for now.
Okay.
You see, I mean, if the implementation can, sort of, I mean, show that we can do channel-based PubSub, we can do spatial-based PubSub, and we can increase the number of nodes within a simulation up to a certain point, like let's say 1,000 nodes, okay? And we can measure some metric, whether it be latency, be message size, or whatever, okay? And shows the current scaling behavior, okay, of a single matcher. I think that's good enough in the sense that we can at least show that, yes, we have a functionally okay implementation for PubSub, which does have scaling limit, okay, at a certain point, right?
Okay.
I think if we can just demonstrate that, or at least shows that the scaling behavior is something like linear or super linear, which means that it's not scalable, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You see, I think that's good enough in terms of the implementation, okay? Because at least you are presenting or capturing what the problem is.
Okay.
You see, so that was, I think that's already good enough. And in terms of the writing part, okay, or the paper part, I think the focus should be, one is on the problem description, right? We talk about this already a few sessions, right? Already in terms of like, what is the problem and why is it important, right? Basically, like how is spatial PubSub different from channel-based PubSub, and why should people pay attention, right? Why do we believe this is an important problem, and why do we feel that decentralizing, having a decentralized architecture for this is important and worthy of investigation, right? Okay, so I mean that's kind of the problem part. But then the solution part, I think what would be best is we can come up with a design, okay, that at least people can relate to that, oh yeah, this potentially might solve the problem. Okay, I mean, they can conceptually understand that, yes, if we use these kind of partitioning or Voronoi partitioning or, whatever, then maybe we can actually build a scalable version for spatial PubSub.
Okay.
Okay, I think that would be also good enough. The bonus will be to have like specific protocol and message package. I would also design. Like I think you've seen this from the Vaughn work, right? Where we have defined like message format and also protocol. Okay. Right. I think that's the part where maybe you should focus on. I mean that's kind of the concept implementation. It's like pseudocode and message format and protocol. It's kind of design, right? It's not code yet, but it's the design, the blueprint for an implementation, right? I think as long as you already have the blueprint, that's already good.
Yeah.
Okay, is that understandable, and is that okay?
Yeah. I just want to confirm. So are you talking about like for example, specifying the number of bytes and the kind of information?
The amount of what?
The bytes. I mean the size of the message.
Well, I guess message format. That is
format.
more important. Like, okay, like when you are realizing any kind of a network system,
Hello. Shinyan? I can't hear you. Are you still there? The network is bad. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Hi Shinyan. My chat. Okay.
hello?
Hi Shinyan.
Sorry, my device went down.
Oh,
It's
sorry about that.
no, it's all right. All right, so you were asking about I didn't get that.
The message
What-
format.
Oh yes. I think the important thing is more on the definition rather than obviously you can design to as detailed as like how many bytes are you allocating for, let's say, ID, right? And like how many bytes for the position for the radius, right?
Yeah.
In the specification. I think if you can make it that detailed, that's great. Okay.
Okay.
But I think even if just like the general formats in terms of what are the parameters, what are their types mainly, and
Okay.
then and also what's the protocol, you know, like for one, the protocol consists of like hello message, right? Move message,
Yeah.
you know, things like that, right? So
Yeah.
you might want to have something like, you know, like publish message, subscribe, publish request, subscribe request, right? And
Okay.
and things like that, right?
Okay.
And obviously, you know, if that can be made to decentralize the matcher function, you know, like
Okay.
how do you combine, for example, like a partitioning scheme? You can treat VOM as a partitioning scheme, right? It's a
Okay.
way to partition the space and then use some protocol and message to maintain that partition space, right?
Okay.
I mean, and I guess the question is, what do you have to add maybe on top of that? Or, you know, maybe I mean, there are two ways to do this. One is you design a new set of message and protocol, okay, that sort of integrate VOM to it, and that works
Okay.
at the same layer as the VOM protocol,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
supports spatial PubSub.
Okay.
Okay, you see? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like the overlay maintenance and the spatial PubSub are mixed into one thing, okay,
Okay.
in terms of the message and protocol. But then there's another approach where, you know, you just assume something like phone exists, okay, and you can
Okay.
maybe do certain things to it, like you can create a node, you can move it, you can get a list of the enclosing neighbors, right?
Okay.
And maybe you can, you know, forward message to your neighbors, things like that. Okay,
Okay.
and then you try to build on top of those the spatial PubSub part.
Okay. I see what you mean.
You see.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
in other words, actually, the second approach I think might be better in the sense that in some ways, you might want to distinguish and basically separate these two layers. Okay, which is
Okay.
one, you can think of it as managing the space. doing the spatial partitioning, right?
Yes.
Sort of the space management part. That's what Vang does. But then you do have another layer that is doing the spatial PubSub support, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That is right. That is sort of like sending the request and also try to figure out like where are the matchers that are like
Okay.
nearby, for example, right? And then how do you forward message to them effectively? Like something like using a greedy forward, right?
Okay. Yeah. Trying to.
Okay. Is this over all right? I mean, any questions or is it
Yeah.
understandable? Well,
Maybe just a quick one on the Von layer now. I'm trying to think about basically from my understanding from the Von layer. So just to confirm then, does the Von layer in itself after does it only just do partitioning, or does it do
yes,
partitioning and okay,
and what else?
and like a basic pops up?
No, actually it doesn't.
Just
It doesn't.
partition. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can think of, what Vang does. You think about this. Oh, okay. It does have the concept of AOI. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So you can think of AOI as a kind of subscription. Which is true. However, you can also just view it as a way to like how large a space of neighboring nodes should I connect to?
Okay.
So
Makes
it's
sense.
sort of it's kind of like a connectivity issue or an overlay management issue, right? I mean, in effect, it can achieve some kind of a publish or spatial publish or subscribe effect, but it's not. I guess what I'm trying to say is, well, simply put, it doesn't support the generic spatial PubSub. You see, by generic, I mean you can subscribe to any area you like, any area you desire, right? Whether it's big or small, right? Okay.
Makes sense.
And
Yeah.
you can also publish to any area you like, right? That is something Vang does not support. You see?
Okay.
Okay, so you see, I would say Vang is overlay management. Okay, or
overlay management.
Or overlay management, right? Or space partitioning management, something like that. Right. Okay. It's about how do you divide and manage the space among a bunch of nodes and make sure they're all fully connected, right? Or there's a path from any node A to any node B.
It makes sense.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go back to like the thesis again because I mean like a lot of this thing, it sounds very interesting again.
Yes, I mean this is interesting because I think from a protocol design perspective, or interface design perspective, this is also interesting, and I think that would be good contribution. In the sense, I like you to keep this in mind as well. If you can design a protocol, for or a message, message format and protocol that supports spatial PubSub, okay, but it's not tied to Vang, okay, meaning that it's tied to actually an interface, which it can be any kind of partition. In fact, it can be hexagonal partitioning, square base, rectangular partitioning, triangular partitioning, right? Any kind of or Voronoi partitioning, right? Did you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Which is, I think we can decouple spatial.
I see what you mean.
Okay, away from how you are partitioning the space, right? Because there are many ways you can partition through spatial partitioning, right? And Vang is just one of them. Voronoi is just one of them. Okay. Although we believe, it might be quite effective. Okay, in terms of resource management or scalability or whatever, right? Or maybe routing latency, right? But
Yeah.
that should not tie us into
Sure.
just one only,
Yeah.
you see. And if you can design your protocol, the message and the format in such a way that's generic enough, okay, that it actually just uses the overlay management services, so to speak, or API, right?
Yeah.
Then and just interact just with a well-defined interface, right? That's actually even better, right?
Yeah.
Because you can replace the partitioning algorithm or approach with other kinds of, right? So I think if you can do that, okay, if you can clearly separate and define, I would consider that as a pretty good contribution actually.
Okay.
See?
Because I mean, it would mean that someone can decide to take that you know the system itself, and they might choose to use a different partitioning layer.
Exactly,
And okay.
right. And I mean, who knows? Someone might thought maybe they don't want a distributed partitioning. They might choose to have a highly specialized but highly efficient, like a supercomputer kind of partitioning support, right?
Nice.
Right, you see, and run on a single server, that's fine, right? Running on a single supercomputer, that's fine,
All right.
you see.
No problem. I see what you mean. That's what you mean.
Okay, all right. So I guess the reason why I spent so much time to explain this is I like you to really have an idea and feeling, okay, about what are some of the key aspects this work should be about.
Yeah.
Okay, and try to focus on those key aspects.
Key aspects.
Okay.
Okay.
You see,
Okay.
because I can tell you, if you can just like design the pseudocode, the algorithm, and the flow, the message protocol, and the message format to support spatial PubSub in an elegant, simple way, and then just use, sort of, so it provides an interface above, right?
Yeah.
Basically a spatial PubSub service above, and it uses spatial partitioning below. Okay. If you can just like focus on that and present it clearly, I would see that as a pretty good contribution, actually.
Okay. Just right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would also be able to guide the actual implementation, right? So when we're doing the implementation, it probably should also be separated into these different layers.
Partitioning, yeah.
Okay, so decoupling is a good word, and you should be a friend of decoupling because
yeah,
it's how systems large systems are being built, okay, and how they can be, developed and verified, tested independently by different parties.
All right.
Okay, as long as it's well defined at the interface level.
I see what you mean.
Okay, all right. So I guess any questions, Victor?
Yeah. I think that's fine for now. No, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I think I think for over the weekend, I guess the main thing is to get the team together. Okay, and if possible, get the code transfer and also work out a sync time. A work call between the three of you. Okay, something that's workable. Okay, and obviously the best is if the spatial matching can work, by next Monday. Okay, because I mean, if you can get that work and also get a transfer, that's the most ideal. But I would say the code transfer right now is more important. Okay, for now.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so prioritize on that. And in terms of the paper, I think you can start to work on the solution part actually. Okay.
Okay.
In terms of the design, the pseudocode, because that is something I think Herman and I can provide the best feedback. And also, that's also the most critical 20% of your work. I mean, the most valuable, most contribution of the work will be on that part. Besides,
Alright.
besides the problem description. Okay.
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 No problem. No problem.
All right. So I guess do you feel excited and
Yeah, it's exciting
and
stuff, really.
full of ideas?
It's like big, exciting stuff.
Yeah. This is interesting stuff. I mean, and now I think if you are free from implementation, I think we can work more on the conceptual level design.
Alright.
And basically try to get the design right first, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay. All right. So good luck, and have a great weekend ahead of you, and
Yeah.
hope to see how the teamwork is being set up and done in place. Okay, by next Monday. I think that's the most important part now. Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Flip. Sorry, my mic went off. Thanks, Shinyan. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Enjoy.
Okay. All right. So see you next Monday then. All right.
See you next Monday.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yes,
Yeah,
bye.
bye.